ICE murdered another guy. While the murder of Renee Good was also completely unjustified, a cold-blooded murder, etc., etc., there was at least one mitigating circumstance, which is that she was in a car that was moving. However slowly, and however innocuously, she was in a moving car. Does that justify being murdered? No. But it's a factor that can be weaponized by the enemy. This time, however...
They're doing too much, man, and they keep pushing people, you know?
So you have a bunch of ICE agents who are wrestling a guy to the ground. The guy is 37. He was a legal observer. He was not a protester or somebody that they were even targeting. Well, he might have been a protester. He was not actively protesting. He walked up to them with a camera. He was filming them. And in response to being filmed, these agents tackled them, like 5, 6 of them. It's not the first time that ICE agents have shown active aggression towards filmers. They've been doing that pretty much like the whole time they've been deployed. I'm sure a lot of you saw very recently the that video of the ICE agent saying, we're putting all of you on a list, as he walked up to a legal observer with his own phone camera. You know, we're putting all of you on a... You know, they've been getting increasingly aggressive over time. Anyway, they all tackle him. They're struggling to hold him down because they're all fat, lazy, useless, high school dropout pigs, barely human, and he's a robust, strong, independent, freedom-minded American individual. This guy up at the front just starts hitting him.
Oh shit! What the fuck? They killed him? Did they fucking kill that guy? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Not again! Are you fucking kidding me?
And then, frustrated by their inability to hold one man down, they just execute him on the street. And that's that. They had 10 shots.
Dude. They killed him, They killed him, Did they fucking kill that guy? Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
We have video from the woman in the pink jacket. I know. Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of video footage of this one. Thankfully, a consequence of their attempt to go after legal observers is that there have been more of them. Yeah, just straight up executed him on the ground. So here's a bunch more videos if you have the stomach for that. This is a video of the events leading up to the shooting.
Things got buried. Yeah, unroll your windows. No, you're just right inside.
That's the fellow right there. This strapping lad. Holding a phone.
I'd go around.
No gun, just a phone. DHS has already claimed he had a firearm. Obviously.
Fuck off! Pieces of shit.
They took that phone, I'm sure. Not only did they take that phone, ICE, according to the Associated Press, immediately detained a bunch of witnesses to this murder. It's so, like, it's such a gang killing. Indistinguishable from what the mob would do. After they executed this guy on the street, they all start backing up. I've seen plenty of police killings, even unjustified ones in my life. Police do not do this. Like, police, because doing this makes you look like a murderer. Like, you're not supposed to act like you've just been a witness to a crime. But all of them start backing up. This guy runs away and adjusts his mask. They're all aware of the fact they're just murdering people. There's no, like, they are not, it's not only like they don't feel threatened, they're fully aware of the fact that there are going to be consequences for this, or at least that there's a risk of consequences. You know, maybe they keep getting away with it far more than they should, but they know exactly what they're doing. Anyway, there's plenty more video because, you know, again... Boy, it's loud out there. Did not play this on stream. We're just doing it nuts.
Go.
I already have the volume turned down.
What the fuck is wrong? people. The fuck is wrong with you? Honestly.
The way every single one of them backs up, like none of them, there's not even like the artifice of policing here. You can see them disarming him before killing him. Yes, I believe that he was legally carrying, but he didn't have the firearm in his hand. He just had it in his holster. They shot him after disarming him. The reason they shot him is because they were frustrated they couldn't hold him down. It was just because they emasculated him. This is the #1 reason you get killed by cops or by, I guess, these pigs. It's just like they are here to act like I mean, bullies is such a soft word, I guess, but it's like a juvenile expression of masculine power fantasies. The moment that falters, the moment they feel like a fool, that's it, you know?
What the fuck did you just do? What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my God.
Yeah. So immediately after this, ICE scooped up people nearby to detain them as well, like desperately trying to cover up evidence of their crime, as if that's going to change anything. Tim Walz' response, yeah. Governor Walz' statement on recent ICE shooting. I just spoke with the White House after another horrific shooting by federal agents this morning. Minnesota has had it. This is sickening. The president must end this operation. Pull the thousands of violent, untrained officers out of Minnesota now. Great. Thank you. Fuck you, Tim. Seriously. Not even like a moral, end this operation, violent, untrained, fucking ridiculous. He needs to send in the National Guard immediately. The leader of the Minnesota National Guard have already said that if they were deployed to the streets of the Twin Cities, they would do so to protect people. I think that's a pretty clear indication that even if they were federalized, they would not, like, even if the president federalized the National Guard, the men sent there would be primarily interested in stopping ICE. If not stopping ICE, at the very least, then impeding their operations. Can the Guard organize themselves? No. The Department of Homeland Security immediately responded to the murder by putting out a message saying that the officers fired because they were fearing for their lives. They said that the guy drew a gun on them, etc., etc. Why did somebody send me this in the form of a YouTube video? Just a tweet. At 9:05 a.m. CT, as DHS law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted operation in Minneapolis against an illegal alien wanted for a violent assault, individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. Seen here, the officers attempted to disarm the suspect. The armed suspect violently resisted. Yada yada yada. Right. Incredibly, they have found a hill to die on even worse than the Renee Good murder. Again, the Renee Good murder is one thing. Moving vehicles are innately dangerous, even if obviously Renee Good was not going to run over the ICE officer. But in this case, like, there is no mitigating circumstance. There's not really any ambiguity to take advantage of here. The video is pretty fucking clear. So, I mean, presumably this is going to be the next month of our lives, at minimum. He resisted, killed, justified? Yeah, that's probably what they're gonna go with. All right. Live coverage, Midas touch.
American citizens, and certainly immigrants who don't have criminal records, are also being detained. Also being detained, arrested, deported.
The most demoralizing thing is that this came after a general strike. It feels like all that was for naught. Don't be, respectfully, don't be fucking stupid. A general strike is not mitigated by a murder after the fact. That's ridiculous. If anything, it's a show that the general strike worked. The reason ICE and Border Patrol, in this case, are being so sloppy is because they're aware of the fact that they're hated and they're getting nothing done. If they felt like they were being effective, they would not have to resort to tactics like this, you know? Like, they're operating under pressure. They know that's why they're acting this way. And I think it's a tremendous testament to the bravery and persistence of the people in the Twin Cities that they're able to put so much pressure on ICE when they have the full support of the federal government, both halves of it. The Democrats, Congress, the House, voted to continue upping ICE funding. Just enough Democrats slipped on that. What a coinkydink. Bovino's doing a new conference right now. Please, link it then. I like this little detail. You can really tell the Associated Press is also fed up with this shit. For one, the article header they have at the front of the page is "Federal officers shot and killed a man in Minneapolis." which is a lot more direct than officer-involved shootings that you typically get. But for two, look at this. After the shooting, an angry crowd gathered and screamed profanities at federal officers, calling them cowards and telling them to go home. One officer responded mockingly as he walked away, telling them, boo-hoo. This was after they murdered him. Wonderful detail provided there. You know? Abolition is really not only no longer the moderate position, it's not morally or legally sufficient, you know? At this point, the mere abolition of ICE is itself a concession to lawlessness. All right, Bavino, what do you got? Our little 5'2" Nazi freak boy.
Is forthcoming. The officer was highly trained and had been serving as a Border Patrol agent for 8 years.
Just started?
Under constant attack.
Looks like a lesbian.
In Minneapolis for weeks now. This morning was no different. At 9:05 a.m. Central Standard Time, as DHS law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted operation in Minneapolis against an illegal alien, Jose Huerta Chuma. You can see this illegal alien on the screen to my left and right. That is Jose Huerta Chuma, whose criminal history includes domestic assault to intentionally inflict bodily harm, disorderly conduct, and driving without a valid license.
He sounds like Steve Buscemi.
During this operation.
Yeah. Many such cases, right? Like basically all fascists. It's an ideology designed to compensate for masculine insecurities. They all are like this. Trump is like this. J.D. Vance is like this. Peter Thiel is like this. They're all like this. No exceptions, right?
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
We've all seen the video, man.
The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted.
Yep, it should. They're gonna they're gonna double and triple. It literally does not matter what ICE does. They will always double and triple down on it.
Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, a Border Patrol agent fired defensive shots. Medics on the scene immediately delivered medical aid to the subject, but the subject was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 loaded magazines and no accessible ID. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. Then, about 200 rioters arrived at the scene and began to obstruct and assault law enforcement.
He's just rephrasing the DHS tweet. So the real, like, string puller here is whoever's in charge of DHS comms, or that specific tweet. Like, he's literally just reading it.
Crowd control measures have been deployed for the safety of the public and law enforcement. This situation is evolving, and more information is forthcoming. The officer was highly trained and had been serving as a Border Patrol agent for 8 years.
Wow, interesting. That's really, really crazy. So you're telling me that these, like, murderous, terroristic tendencies are present in ICE and Border Patrol even before the, like, rash of hiring that's taken place in the past year? Really makes me wonder if this organization can be reformed.
The officer has extensive training as a range safety officer and less lethal officer.
I cannot overstate to you how much they've been fantasizing about this their entire lives. A lot of cops do, but basically every ICE and Border Patrol agent does. These are people who think that America is on the cusp of collapse because the white population in this country is declining as a percentage of its total population. These are people that fantasize every day about the day of the rope, that they will be the vanguard. They will be the first agents of Trump who will be deployed to the streets to shoot and lynch black and brown people, liberals, blue-haired women, and so on. They've been fantasizing about it. They've been talking about it with each other for years and years and years. And now finally, they have been given the opportunity. And as always, the fantasy's never like reality, right? Like in reality, they're actually just like getting screamed at 24/7. It seems like they have unlimited power, but in reality, like they're scampering like insects every time a light is shown on them in the Twin Cities. They can barely hold back like the fucking 50th largest city in the United States. And every once in a while, those violent tendencies express themselves in this like pathetic, cloying, oh, we just did like a drive-by shooting, everyone run away kind of deals, you know?
As mentioned, this is only the latest attack on law enforcement. Across the country, the men and women of DHS have been attacked shot at, doxxed, had their family members threatened. And, as we have seen, more than 100 vehicle rammings over the past year against federal law enforcement. We will not allow violence against our law enforcement officers, and we need state and local help, state and local law enforcement, to help us coordinate to get violent criminals off the streets. Mayor Fry and Chief O'Hare just a few minutes ago did the
If this guy's just going to keep repeating stuff that's pulled from the DHS Twitter, there's not much of a point in listening to him. Here's Trump's tweet, truth. This is the gunman's gun loaded with 2 additional full magazines and ready to go. What is that all about? So much for the Second Amendment, man. Where are the local police? Why weren't they allowed to protect ICE officers? The mayor and the governor called them off. It is stated that many of these... Trump's tweet, or truth, I guess, here is irrelevant because, as we know, Trump has not actually seen the video. Remember, with the Renee Good murder, all he did was repeat what he was told about it, and then when he finally did see the video, he changed his tune. Literally, like, he is still to the left of MAGA on this. Multiple times at press conferences, Trump has called the murder of Renee Good a tragedy and unfortunate and essentially, like, not necessary, you know? Like, oh, sometimes stuff like this is going to happen. I'm not saying he's woke on it or whatever. I'm just saying he saw the video and then he changed his tune, you know? He hasn't seen the video here. What he was shown was this photo, which is just a photo of a Sig Sauer pistol. I don't know. Looks cool. Sitting there. He's been told whatever. Why does Ilhan Omar have $34 million in her account? And where are the tens of billions of dollars that have been stolen from the once great state of Minnesota? We are there because of massive monetary fraud with billions of dollars missing and illegal criminals that were allowed to infiltrate the state through the Democrats' open border policy. We want the money back and we want it now. Yeah. So, again, it doesn't really... He hasn't seen anything. He called it a mistake. Yeah, this was just from yesterday.
And, you know, they're going to make mistakes sometimes. ICE is going to be too rough with somebody, or, you know, they're dealing with rough people. They're going to make a mistake sometimes. It can happen. We feel terribly. I felt horribly when I was told that the young woman who was had the tragedy. It's a tragedy.
He's literally like to the left of MAGA on this. It's crazy. This was in response to Renee Good, Minneapolis police chief.
But I think the video speaks for itself. What I can tell you is we have identified this person, 37-year-old white male, resident of the city. The only interaction that we are aware of with law enforcement has been for traffic tickets, and we believe he is a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry.
Chief, can you clarify?
Yeah, my understanding so far is that the police of Minneapolis have essentially, like, they're not biting into the narrative at all. Likewise with Renee Good, right? Like, it's not like the Minneapolis police like ICE. Jacob Frey's statement.
So, to President Trump, this is a moment to act like a leader.
Jesus
Put Minneapolis, put America first in this moment. Let's achieve peace. Let's end this operation, and I'm telling you, our city will come back. Safety will be restored. We're asking for you to take action now to remove these federal agents.
Look, we'll cut this one off here. There's plenty more to say, and we'll be covering plenty more, but I'll cut this segment off here. Yeah, I don't know. Look, the Democrats just voted to approve portions of, and to a large extent, the entirety of ICE funding. Tim Walz is doing nothing. Jacob Frey is doing nothing. None of them are doing anything. There's no way out but through. I'm sorry. I have to believe, I have to hope that this is a kind of wake-up moment for liberals, the liberal voters, I mean, where the contempt they feel towards ICE and towards the Republicans is not just an institutional failing, right? They're not just angry at ICE or Republicans broadly because they think that, you know, they're doing a bad job of achieving the same goal, right? They have to recognize these people and these institutions for what they are, which are fundamentally destructive and terroristic, you know, evil to the ground. There's really no fixing it. And as long as liberals understand that, they will understand why leftists hate Democrats. Because, man, to paraphrase Twitter, like right now, the moderate position on ICE is a TOS violation. There's no the average person is so fucking far more radical on ICE than the Democrats are willing to represent, and that's only because they are weak. What can we even do? Jacob Frey can have the local police resist ICE. Tim Walz can deploy the National Guard. There is nothing that ICE could do against the National Guard. It's the National Guard. Like, literally anything. Not vote to fund ICE, perhaps, possibly, which they just did. Maybe. Democratic leadership won't even say that they want ICE to be abolished. But I've heard Trump would just take control of it. Trump can take control of the National Guard in the sense that he has the ability to determine where they go. But for one, his power in that in that circumstance is to some extent overseen by the courts. But also, the Minnesota National Guard have already indicated that if they were deployed, they would be protecting the people of Minnesota. So even if Trump federalized the National Guard, I'm pretty sure that they would be a positive force in the streets. This is all Obama's fault, to be fair. Isn't everything. All they know how to do is double down, man. It's fucking insane. They have nothing else. A domestic terrorist tried to assassinate federal law enforcement, and this is your response? Literally does not matter what happens. It doesn't matter how much video evidence or how fucking obvious or evident it is. They always go back to the same thing. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Just no, they're strategically inept. They have no rudders on the ship. They have no ability to moderate their response to any action, to play up or play down the worst or the best. Like, it's Israeli strategy? Yes. Yeah, it is. It is deeply Israeli, which is funny for Miller, but, you know, whatever. It is deeply Israeli, yeah. If you basically just coast by on defending literally everything that your people do, no matter how openly evil, and just assume that you'll get a free ride because the larger powers that be want to use you as a vessel for their will. The Israelification of the U.S. over the last 2 to 3 years has been fucking crazy. And all the people who have been cheering for our support of Israel are likewise ideologically responsible for where we are today. There is a direct overlap in our support for Israel and all that represents, and the police statification, the encroach of surveillance, and the retraction of our civil rights here in the United States. There is an overlap here.